Bear with me. File, create, scanner camera. There it is. You've seen, set it at 20 by 20, pre-scan. You saw all of this in that last video that I put up on YouTube, but I'm going to do it again to clean this one up and title it. Okay, now, let's see. Well, we've got a problem because I've cut off part of it. Hang on a minute. Let's go up at 14. Come on, tabloid. Let's see if this works a little better. Much better. Okay, I'm going to be doing this in black and white. So I'm going to change the scan type to, never mind, I'm just going to scan it in color. Start. You can scan in black and white. The problem being sometimes it really chops up the lines. I can convert it to black and white in Gimp. All right, there is my drawing. I'm going to rotate it. Image, transform, rotate 90 clockwise. Now, I want to straighten it out so that that's scale and north arrow are straight across. I'm going to bring this, if you'll notice what I did, if I go up on this ruler line, which is in pixels, and I'm going to change it to inches, doesn't really matter. But if I go up to this ruler line and I left click and hold, I can pull a line down that's just a guideline. And it just puts that dotted line there. Now you can grab it. I think you can grab it. Thought you could grab it. Hang on a minute. Let's go move. If I do move over that line, I can left click and get rid of it by dragging it back up to this ruler. So I'm going to put it there because I want to straighten this out. All right. If it's if the drawing looks too small, no, I don't want to do that. What you can do, view, you can zoom someplace, zoom, and you can just type, you can do zoom in, view, zoom, zoom in, and that's better. I can see what I've got going on. Now let's get back. I want to rotate this image so that it's straight with that line. So let's go ahead and go image, transform, arbitrary rotation. I'm just going to left click on a corner and turn it. And that looks pretty straight. See how I'm holding it against that guideline? And my scale looks straight to it. I can either click rotate or just hit enter. Okay, now I've got this thing straightened out, but if you'll notice, view, zoom, zoom out. You know, there's a lot of extra paper and space on this. So what I can do is I can click my crop tool. And I think if I'm lucky, I can make a box and crop this down. And for now, we're going to stick with that. Okay, so I've cropped it down. It's a little big. It's 11 by 14. I mean, I can crop it a little further. If I wanted to do 8.5 by 11, let's see if I can get it down there. 10, 7 and I'm good. Close enough. All right. So now I've got my image there, but I have a problem. And that problem is, zoom. Sorry, I don't tend to do it this way, but that problem is I've got a lot of background there. You can kind of see, I don't know how much you can see the yellow background, but I can certainly see it. That was, and I mentioned this in one of my videos from last week. Colors, curves. And we left click, bring that over. The background's starting to go away, so some of the line work, but that's okay. Because if I left click and bring this over, the line work starts to come back. But it's still got kind of a yellowy tint to it. I'm going to hit OK. I can still see some yellow background. What I can do is I can go colors, hue, saturation. Saturation is just how much color's there, and I don't want any color there. So if I crank that all the way down to 0 or negative 100, whatever it comes out to, I just turn my color drawing into a black and white drawing. Now I've got a black and white drawing. The background, I'm still sensing some background here. And I also have, all right, if I go to Windows Dockable Dialogues, you're going to see navigation. If I click on that, I get this window up here. The nice thing about this window is if you look down here, if I left click, I can zoom in, or I can zoom way out. And it's, or I can even hit plus, 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 and minus, minus, minus. So I like doing this better than going view, zoom in, or view, zoom out. I'm still seeing some background on this. You may not be able to see it, but I'm still seeing some yellow tone there. So I'm going to go ahead, colors, curves, and let's see. Nope. By just pulling that bottom one, and it's trial and error. Okay. And then if I go image, if I went to mode, I could go grayscale and get rid of any color that's in there. So now it is pure black and white. Now all that's left to do on this is add my titles. I'm going to get rid of this guideline because I don't need it anymore. All right, so I'm going to call it a site plan. Text, Miranda, we'll do site plan. Now I already can tell I don't like that text because it's too big. Although actually, that's actually not bad for site plan. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Hang on. And make that a little smaller. I'm going to put that in the middle. And then I'm going to do another text box over here. And this one, I'm going to do it smaller than 75. Let's do it about 30. Assignment 02. Due. When is it due? Is it February 1st? I think it's February 1st. You can't tell me because February 1st. Okay, so now I put my name on there. I click in another layer and it shows up. Now it's way too far over to the right, so I'm going to move it. I'm just going to, oh, now, if you saw what just happened, I wanted to move the text, but instead I moved the drawing. Rule of thumb, edit, undo, move layer. The reason why that happened, if you remember me talking before, you can't have the little finger. If you want to move the text, it's got to change to that little cross. So we do that, and now I'm moving it and not the drawing, and I like that. Okay, now I've got to put some information here, but before I do anything, what I should have done in the beginning was File, Save. And we're going to save this to my desktop. And 2022-0201. What was the next part supposed to say? You don't know. Hang on a minute. Well, I'm going to do it this way. Peter, assignment 02, and now I'm saving it. All right, notice that the name has changed to that up there. So I can hit, now all I have to do is hit save or, excuse me, Control S, and it will save every time. Now I want to put north on the north arrow, and I want to put 0, 20, 40, 80 under here. Well, I can actually, all right, I'm just going to do it with a text layer. I'm not going to confuse things right now. Let's do this one first. I'm going to go back to the 30 for a font size. Got a little carried away there. Because that's the same size as over here, and I kind of like it. Click in the box. I'm going to do left justification. I'm going to go 0. And I'm not going to be quite accurate. 20. 4080. Okay, now if I look at that, the 0 is not where I want it. So I can move that and put the 0, again, when the finger goes away, I'll move that, put the 0 under the 0. Now the 20, the 40 aren't great, but the 80 is pretty good. That's all right. I'm just going to click in here, my text tool on, click in there, and I'm going to backspace. Now the 20 and 40 are lined up nicely. And then I will put the 80 in there. And now if you look, what I've done is I've put lettering on the scale. All it's left to do now is do one more text layer, text, and I'm just going to put north. And again, I'm going to use 30. Let's go to the left. There's north. I think it's a little close. It's not bad. but I'm going to go ahead and move it just a smidgen. Watch the finger disappear and move it. File, save.
File, export as. Desktop's good. There's the right name. Select file type. Portable document format. Cross your fingers. Export. That's promising. I'm pretty excited right now. Now let's see if that. There it is. Okay, so now I've got a PDF file of that drawing, and I've got the Gimp file, which I'm just going to save one last time, and I'm going to close that. If I wanted to put some drawings together, if I wanted to combine them into a single PDF, this is how I would go about doing it. I tend to go to a site called Love PDF. I love PDF, and I put this on one of the assignments, but I love PDF. There are other ones that do this. But you'll see there's a thing here that says Merge PDF. Tells me to select the files or drop PDFs here. I can simply left click. Left click, drop it there. Left click, drop it there. All right, and I don't think I have anything else. I have no idea what this was. Oh, well, all right. Once I have the files in there that I want, I hit Merge PDF. It's going to take a little while to upload. It's always exciting watching it upload. I hit download merge PDF. There it is. If I go into my file, I think downloads, and you'll see I love PDF merged. I'm going to change the name to random. Hang on a second. Random merged PDF. Now if I click on it to open it up, I've got last week's sketch, which I merged with this week's sketch and this week's sketch, and it's one file. Some of the drawings are bigger than others. I'm not worried about it. But you can kind of see that I was able to put it all together into one PDF. So that's how I merge my PDFs using I Love PDF. You can also, if the files are huge, you can also compress PDFs, which I use a lot too. Compress PDF, which sometimes can take big files and make them more manageable so they become emailable.